Visakha, known as the City of Destiny, is spread on the coast of Bay of Bengal in Andhra Pradesh. Being an abode of natural beauty, this city attracts a large number of tourists and is developing by leaps and bounds. Andhra University, which gained national prominence with its unique style of offering higher education, is situated in this city.
Hello everyone. It's happy to see you all on the Sunday evening again. Welcome you all to the brand new episode of Geeta. And today's speaker is a very good speaker and very popular speaker. So it's happy to have you all again on the Sunday evening, and I wish you a very happy Valentine's Day as well. And thank you for connecting here online. First of all, I want to thank our Vice Chancellor Garu, Professor PVGT Prasad Reddy Garu, for giving this wonderful platform and helping which helps the students in shaping their career as well. And I also thank Professor Perry Srinivas Garu, our Principal Garu, for supporting our platform. As initiated by AU College of Engineering, Andhra University Visakhapatnam, a series of tech talks are being organized by the General Interest Topics Avenue, which is also known as Geeta. Geeta provides an online platform for the enrichment of technical knowledge for the for Andhra University and other universities and all the students of India as well. In this connection, Geeta provides technical by domain experts, scholars, faculty, and students, uh, which will provide their expertise and also guidance, which would have help in shaping the budding entrepreneurs and engineers of India. On every Sunday at 7 p.m., Gita is being live. So please support us and thank you all for commenting. Do share our channel. It will be really helpful to you guys. And now I hand over the screen to today's anchor, whose name is Vaishali. The screen is yours.
So, that was a neat introduction of Geeta, the Tech Talks. As already told by Vinil himself, Geeta, the Tech Talks has been initiated in the university itself, whose chief patron is Professor P.V.G.D. Prasad Reddy Garu, Chairman Professor P. Srinivas Rao Garu, who is the principal of AUCE. The teacher mentor is Professor Mallikarjun Rao Garu, and the student organizer is Vinil Judson himself. Geeta is one such platform where you can get innovative ideas and even get motivation for it. Moving further, this task of introducing our guest and speaker is a great privilege. He is Mr. Sailesh Singhal. Mr. Sailesh Singhal is a global youth activist and a strategist advocating for accountability, transparency, and youth engagement in the development discourse. He is the founder of Youth of India Foundation, which is one of the 174 organizations from across the world. It is to be granted special authorization by 2020 UN Conference, which is a movement initiated to localize sustainable development goals through innovative campaigns and discussions. Currently, Mr. Sailesh has been appointed among the Y20 community as one of the 60. Y20 is the youth cohort of G20 summit, which is being presided by the government of Saudi Arabia for the year of 2020. He has earlier represented Indian voices in the Youth Summit of G20 Y20 on behalf of the Government of India in Germany. Mr. Sailesh's works has been published by the UNICEF Connect and been featured in the United Nations Youth Flash newsletter, a monthly newsletter issued by the Department of Economic and Social Affairs Division for Social Policy and Development. We are very happy to have Mr. Sailesh Singhal. There is also a question session at the end, so please use the live chat and let in your doubts. Now, I would like to hand over this to Vinil. Vinil, over to you.
Thank you for a wonderful introduction of our speaker, and it's really our privilege to have you today, sir. Thank you for being online and sharing your valuable time with us, sir. Now the screen is yours.
Uh, Namaskaram, Ella Vaneru. First of all, I would like to thank the entire team of Andhra University and the College of Engineering for hosting such a prominent and recognized talk show for the past few months now. I think with COVID, as our Honorable Prime Minister has also said, we will have to use opportunities within the chaos. आपदा में हमें opportunities को खोजना है. Likely rightly said, when we see that the young people, especially the young people of Andhra University and the College of Engineering, have come up to host this special TED Talks, I think I'm indeed blessed and honored to be part of this. Last week, I was also listening to Sri Ravi Eswarapu Garuji, and I was mesmerized with the kind of inspiration that he had to share, and especially with the very one fact that he used to take job where he could learn. And I think while we look and relook at everything that we are going to do today, and also about the very theme and the discussion that we are going to have about the role of youth in this entire vision of the clarion call of the Prime Minister to become an AtmaNirbhar Bharat by the year 2047, I think this very thought of Sri Ravi Garu of doing things where we can learn becomes as the founding stones as well. And having said that, let me take a little repack and share with each one of you. Our very friend Vinay also appreciated and acknowledged the fact that it's a Valentine's Day today. Yes, it is. And I'm wishing each one of you a day of love, a day of friendship, a day of brotherhood. But when we talk about this day of brotherhood, when we talk about this day of love, and being a young person myself, I mean, I am not aloof by this entire day of Valentine month. We cannot also forget that today happens to be the second anniversary and we will never forget about the Pulwama terror attack that has happened. And why we are celebrating this day of love, why we are celebrating this day of brotherhood, the very fact that today was also a day of horror, today was also a day of massacre, and today also became a day of hatred and violence in the region that is part of us as well. So while we celebrate Valentine's Day, it is also important for young people like you and I, for young entrepreneurs, for young groups, for young academicians, for young researchers, to relook at how we are crafting the nation that we really want to look at. And with this, I think one very important aspect that has come very lightly while I was also watching a beautiful and a mesmerizing, video altogether about the university and how Vinay and has been talking about showing things on the screen and very beautifully digitally. Yes, one thing that caught my attention and my eyes right there was that logo of Andhra University. And while we are absolutely going to discuss about how what would be the role of young people in the contribution of AtmaNirbhar Bharat by the year 2047 when India would celebrate its 100th independence, it became an important juncture for me to observe those 7 signs that I would quickly like to share with each one of you. And I think that would again stand as the foundation of what we think of leading Bharat as a young individuals ourselves. And some of them, which a lot of you would recognize and know, is the rising sun, the lotus, the blooming of the lotus, and it is half bloomed. So there's a scope of blooming ahead and more. Then you have the 64 petals surrounded, 2 serpents on the either sides, a crescent moon below, and absolutely the oceans and the swastika. And while we relook at all these 7 aspects of this beautiful logo, I think we don't really have to go anywhere and thank our predecessors back then who crafted and designed this entire logo. That could become like an emblem and a mark to take us ahead and be the guiding light ahead. And the very reason of me being here today, expressing my gratitude to Balasubramaniam sir, Shankar, Mallikarjunan sir, and Vinay for hosting this and inviting me over here. And before we go back to this, I will quickly share of how we started and how we are going to take each small baby steps towards the visions of becoming AtmaNirbhar. And I'll quickly share a minute my screen on a file.
A massive earthquake triggers an avalanche, destroying history in seconds and triggering a desperate search for survivors.
Devastating scenes that we are finding out of Nepal, where a 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck near the capital city of Kathmandu.
So what has been your contribution for Nepal? Have your double cheese pan pizza next week. Today, make better use of your pocket money. We'll take the cash collected and buy tents, blankets, medicines, sanitary pads, and send them to Yuvalia, Nepal, who are doing awesome relief work in Nepal. Call this number to donate or find one of our boxes near you. Join us in the Pocket Money campaign and maybe tell your friends about it. Looking forward to your contribution.
And while and the very reason that I shared with each one of you about this is because I think
I'll never forget the first time I spoke at a school.
Okay, fantastic. And I will never forget the first time that I spoke digitally as well. So while we relook, and the very reason of showing this video was over the fact that back in 2015, when there was this Nepal earthquake that happened, and as young people ourselves, we wanted to do something for the society and for our neighborhood. This place that I come from is Siliguri, that is just about 30 kilometers from Nepal. And as young people and the young, we wanted to do something, but we heard no everywhere. While we heard no everywhere, we took no as a new opportunity. And while we took that, this entire campaign was crafted. And this campaign, as we're celebrating our Valentine's Day as well today, we suggested young people to donate a part of their pocket money for Nepal. And you wouldn't believe that in just 10 days, we collected about 1.5 lakh. And while we collected that and we opened the boxes in public, listening to all no's everywhere, taking no's as new opportunity, a flood of coins started coming out, stating that, dear sir, and with some letters as well, dear sir, madam, I fought with my mommy to buy chocolates for 2 rupees and here it is for a better Nepal. And messages like these inspired and motivated us to take it ahead. And then actually this campaign was also appreciated internationally by some of the agencies of the United Nations in 2015 General Assembly side events, as well as one of the top best campaigns across the countries and around the globe. And the very fact of sharing this aspect is that while the country has been reforming, while states like Andhra Pradesh, states like Karnataka, Telangana, Maharashtra, all the states are coming together towards contribution of a better and a new India, I think this very attitude of taking no as new opportunity becomes as the founding principles while we are trying to explore and re-explore ourselves. And with this, this so happened that I was reading a report and the very fact that the Andhra Pradesh ranked 7th in the Innovation Index by the Niti Aayog suggests us a roadmap towards how we are going to become an AtmaNirbhar Bharat. Because in the past 1 year, yes, times have been challenging. Yes, times have been evolving for us. But as humans, as Indians, we found innovation as our root in doing everything. And with this, as we started moving ahead, considering either giving 7 million vaccination drive to the largest vaccination drive that we have had in the 26 days, apart from the other countries, supporting the other countries in the evolution of giving vaccinations as the vaccine method or as a role of our friendship to the other countries as well. Things have strengthened India in the evolution of its entire process. We as young individuals have got an opportunity and a chance to express and show what we have. And while I was present in one of the international summits in the United Nations in the year 2019, I had the opportunity to meet His Excellency Secretary General and present what we all very well know of is the mud glass or the clay glass to him, which is made out of mud and clay. And then he was so happy and he expressed his gratitude to this very fact, which can be decomposed and gone back to the soil. A lot of national and international media covered it as the glass of the century. Now, while we're talking about where India has got innovation and in its air, while we talk about we have sustainable solutions back in our villages, maybe while I was doing my graduation back in Bangalore, I realized that instead of paper plates or thermocol plates, we use banana leaves. But that's also a way of sustainable living. So relooking at what things we have, while internationally the United Nations and a lot of other countries are talking about the nature-based solutions, let us not forget what our cultures have already taught us. And one very aspect which I talk about and share in every talk show I can be part of, Mata Bhumi Putroham Prithviya, which means the relationship of a human and that of an environment is that of a mother and a child. And with the relationship with that of a mother and a child, we would rather not exploit environment, but use it to only meeting our needs. And this is exactly now where international agencies and bodies realize that we need to use nature-based solutions. I think while young people like you and I, young engineers, young diplomats, young researchers, scholars are going to come ahead in contributing towards clarion call of AtmaNirbhar Bharat, such old-aged, rather saying that old-age solutions back from the past needs to be repackaged and shown what sustainable opportunities that we have. And while this entire lockdown and the COVID, when the Honorable Prime Minister of India launched a clarion call of becoming Atmanirbhar Bharat or leading Bharat towards Atmanirbharta, let us understand one thing very clearly, that this Atmanirbharta is not Atmanirbharta or self-reliance, is also not from the self-reliance of the economic aspects or from the financial aspects or from the bondages of anything, but it is also an Atmanirbharta in our mindset towards seeing and leading where we have to go. And this Atmanirbharta is also about heading towards what we see as becoming self-reliant in our thoughts, in our actions, and in our lifestyle as well. Because today, world needs leadership. And as a nation, India has stood up, be it while Prime Minister talked about and launched the International Yoga Day. And while we see everything that has been done in the past, in the last 6 or 7 years, now had come in handy, including going Digital India. And while we were in this process of becoming Digital India, we realized how important it became in the last 1 year. Or we talk about the International Day of Yoga, where how important yoga and meditation became in our daily lives in the past 1 year as well. और अगर आप सबको याद हो तो हमें it was rightly there across social media, if you can't go outside, go within. And this going within is the process that would lead us towards the Atmanirbharta and the change of mindset. Because as Indians, as Bharatyata and as the board of Bharatyata, I think while we see everything towards economic financials, the world always look towards the economic developments. As Indians, we can't forget that our values stands with the cultural values and the lifestyle that we live. I was informed that when we look back at a lot of our Harappan and the Harappan civilization as well, or when we talk about a lot of other innovations, including using bamboos as a way of using bamboos as a form of bottles, or maybe seeing how different other ways could also look towards it. And I think this clarion call of becoming AtmaNirbharta is an essential goal of strengthening each and every individual. Where when we look back once again, seeing the very aspects of either providing through the Ujjwala scheme of household, or the gas cylinders to every individual, or through Swachhata, once again it has reaffirmed that our process is towards a behavioral change. And this Atmanirbhar Bharat is also about the behavioral change that we all are looking at and working towards. However, this can't happen until and unless there's a participation of you and I. There's a participation of every individual. And when we have to talk about the 1947 independence that we have had, it is also essential to look at how India's, or rather to say, taking a step back and then saying, we feel proud of our ancestors, or maybe from the families that we come of our grandfather, of great-great-grandfathers. And while we could know that some of them might be part of the freedom struggle or would have done something notable, we feel strengthened and proud of what we are doing, or what we are. And while we are progressing towards an economic steep, or maybe a steep of growth and development in the years to come, it is essential to carry back our legendary ancestral contributions that have happened. And while we see that India has been known as the golden pioneer, the golden pigeon, what are those aspects? One of the research articles really talked about how the India's GDP to one of those times is also 30%. Now, while it was 30%, what has been the economic, or to say the roots of such growth, to say? And when we see that this can happen, and while we see that this Atmanirbharta is about leading from the front, and this can only happen while we are looking back at moving towards the 100 years of independence. And this really can't happen while we see that the year 1947 became as a year of independence from the British struggle. How would India look like while we celebrate the 100 years of independence in the year 2047? And this is exactly what Prime Minister has to focus about. As a Prime Minister and as the head of the institution, while I was feeling very proud while Venel and other colleague was talking about the important aspects of feeling proud of the founders and the principles, it became very important to understand that the head of the institution becomes as an important aspect. And while the head of the institution, as this democratic country, is the Prime Minister of India, it becomes very important to relook at what things have been happening. And as the head of the institution, leading this vision of becoming Atmanirbhar, or setting the roadmap and the goal for the next 30 years, is exactly what we needed at this time. While you and I would be 50s then, or maybe 20, or maybe 45 in the brackets of 40s and 50s, definitely not 50, in the bracket 40, 45. We realized that we would then be the pioneers in leading it from the front. And while we will have to lead it from the front, the very aspect and the visions and the roadmaps needs to be gathered today. And while we are gathering this vision of moving gradually towards the 2047 of the year independence of, we will have to come together hand in hand and craft this vision with the cultural ethos, with the cultural values as the roots of our building up from the new India towards the 25 years of Atmanirbharta by the 2047. And as young champions, as young researchers, it becomes very essential and crucial that we lead it exactly from how it is looked at. With this, I would leave with each one of you with two messages, and that exactly comes from the institution in itself, and that is Tejasvina Vadhi Tasuttu. Tejasvina Vadhi Mastu, which means that how light could guide us towards in finding the right education, the path of knowledge. And this very principles of this university, with the vision and the principles that we all have to come together, I think this vision of becoming an Atmanirbharta through strengthening the cultural ethos and with the change and the independence of the mindset can lead us from the front, while this world needs leadership. And that is exactly where leaders like you and us would stand up together in providing that leadership. So thank you so much once again for having me here, for listening to me on this evening of Valentine's, on this Sunday evening as well, and hoping to connect with each one of you through all social media platforms that we can. Namaste. Dhanyavad.
Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. I guess we'll go with the question and answer session if there is any question asked up, sir.
Thank you for the live session, sir. It is very inspiring. Sustainable methods such as bamboo water bottle, mud clay, chai cups should be implemented. The seminar is very informative and knowledgeable and completely packed with tips, sir. So if there are any questions, I would like you to answer them, sir.
I guess there are no questions, sir. I guess we can end the session, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a privilege to have you, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you so
sir.
much.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ali. Thank you so much, Marikuzala sir, Shankar, and everyone for organizing this. And I hope and wish more energy and power to the entire team in leading this ahead, taking it forward. With this, ending with a very beautiful understanding of what has been a source of inspiration for me as well. हजारों उलझने राहों में हजारों उलझने राहों में और कोशिशें बेहिसाब इसी का नाम है जिंदगी चलते रहिए जनाब. Let's keep walking together in spite of all the difficulties that we might face, and seeing that how we can convert challenges into opportunities and making it worthwhile. Thank you so much and have a great evening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I thank Cyrus Singhal sir for joining us. It was a privilege to have him, sir. Have you, sir? And I also thank Professor P. Malkajan Garu for giving this wonderful opportunity of hosting this platform. And I also thank Professor Ramasudha ma'am and AU Computer Cell as well for helping us in shaping this online Tech Talk platform, and where students are getting benefited through the Tech Talks from experts and scholars and faculty as well. I also thank today's anchor Vaishali for giving a wonderful anchoring, and I also thank my team, Chaitanya sir, Gautam sir, Rajesh sir, Mayur, Nitisha and Surya as well for supporting me since 2 months, and I also thank all of the viewers for supporting us since 2 months and helping us in running this Gita Talks successfully. If you have any suggestions, just please let us know in through our mail ID, and you can contact us on our mail ID, and we'll see you next week on the same time. Please share your suggestions as well, and we'll see you next week on the same time at 7 p.m. Thank you all for staying tuned. Please share, subscribe, and like our YouTube channel, Gita AU Tech Talks.